Hi, I'm Emily Coleman, co-founder and CEO of HAI Analytics, a full-service data analytics company serving the higher ed market. Today, I'm joined by Libby Duane Adams, co-founder and chief advocacy officer at Alteryx. Libby, before we move on to kind of our main topic of conversation, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about Alteryx?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Emily, for the time today. A little bit about Alteryx first. We are the leader in data analytic technology. Our mission is to enable everyone and anyone to be able to work with data to drive insights for better business decisions. A little bit more about myself. As you mentioned, I'm co-founder and chief advocacy officer here at Alteryx, and also leading our Sparked Education program, which is all about helping to enable our marketplace with the learners today who need those data analytic skills, and we're bringing that to market. So we're excited about the conversation with you.
Yeah, that is amazing. So, at HAI, we've been using Alteryx since our inception. We use it in some different ways. So, for example, we've created a tracking dashboard powered by Alteryx and Tableau that our partner institutions can update themselves, which gives them real-time access to data visualizations, year-over-year comparisons, projections throughout the admission cycle. And all of these things are very important to our enrollment management colleagues. But we're going to talk about Spark today, and I'm excited to sort of hear more about that. As I understand it, it's an initiative being led by you. So yeah, if you could, you said a word, but if you could just tell us a little bit about, what it is and how it kind of came to be.
Yeah, absolutely. As a leader in data analytics, we hear from our customers all the time globally about the demand that they have for talent in the marketplace, and whether it's upskilling their current talent or bringing in the best talent into these new early in career roles, it's so important. And we recently, in a poll of US workers, and by the way, this conversation today is global, but this particular survey that we had done, it was about 1,500 US data workers. Alteryx found that while most executives see data skills as a core business enabler, very few companies are taking full advantage of their data to be able to drive business decisions. And this is due in part to the global shortage. It's a global shortage of data analytic talent in the workplace today. So as a global data analytics technology leader, we believe that it's our responsibility to enable analytics for all and support the global market with skilled talent who can be hired by our customers and by our partners globally, so that on day one of that new job, they're productive. And so business leaders are really needing to think about how they're modernizing and scaling their analytics culture across their enterprise. And when they're doing that, we are working to ensure that there are more people in the job market globally who have those necessary data skills. And that's really the motivation of our Sparked program. And the Sparked program here at Alteryx is our education program that empowers analytic and academic learners. And actually, I should also say, Emily, it's not just academics, meaning I'm in the classroom, because we all know these last couple of years that the concept of the classroom has definitely changed. So these could also be individual learners that are learning virtually, but they need to be learning in all fields of study to develop those modern data analytic skills, because data analytics is literally going on in every department of every company in every industry and companies of all sizes. And the Sparked program exists because we know that there's a data analytics skills gap, a shortage, and we want to equip those learners with the analytic resources and skills to be successful in today's workforce. And so educators and students are really loving to learn, excuse me, the Alteryx technology, because they can connect and cleanse data from public data sets, cloud applications, social media spreadsheets, and literally dozens and dozens and dozens, I actually should say hundreds of other sources, to then be able to bring those data together and perform analytics. And whether it's simple analytics or complex analytics, it doesn't matter, because with our technology, we're providing both a code-free as well as a code-friendly environment. And that's what's empowering the learning of data analytics, which is now a required job skill. No longer a nice to have for a few people in a few majors. It is literally happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I can definitely vouch for the fact that Alteryx is an amazing tool that can, do so much in terms of both the advanced analytics and, as you said, kind of integrating data, cleansing data. That's something that our higher ed institution partners need to do a lot of, and something that we use Alteryx to sort of help them with. So what's the current footprint of Sparked? How many schools are taking advantage of it? How has it been received?
Yeah, and we launched the Sparked program formally just about 13 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And so in just a short amount of time, we're able to proudly talk about more than 800 educational institutions across 45 countries around the world. And that is what makes us so proud that we've been able to scale this program by providing free software licenses, learning curriculum, learning paths, whether it's in the classroom for the educators or the students or those virtual learners that I spoke about just a moment ago. We are also rolling out have rolled out as part of the Sparked program, a scholarship program. And in just 9 months since the launch of the scholarship program, we've expanded the program to the distribution of more than $150,000 in funding. And our criteria is that diverse students and learners from all types of educational environments, all different curriculum, are the recipients of these scholarship funds. And so today we have 48 scholarship recipients, and 18 of those recipients have actually graduated. So they're now in the marketplace, ready for those amazing careers. And the majors that we're supporting are really varied, everything from accounting majors, business analytics majors, marketing programs, information management, as well as others. And so the Sparked footprint is really about not only educating students and learners with their educators on data analytics, but it's also making that learning experience better by hopefully alleviating a little bit of that stress, because we all remember what it was like to be a poor college student. By providing these scholarships, we're enabling that learning, hopefully, to allow the student to focus on their career journey. And also, as Alteryx scholars, these students are getting access to different career opportunities, as well as engagement with not only Alteryx during their scholarship program, but also with our customers. And so it gives them, the students, that chance to, quote unquote, feel like the real world is part of their education process.
Mm-hmm. That is incredible. How do you envision it sort of growing over, say, the next 10 years, or what's your kind of thinking there?
Yeah, well, and you hit the nail on the head with your question. This program is going to grow, and the requirement for data analytics is going to grow, because data is everywhere, with companies seeing data as the asset that they are. And so this demand for data analytics skills is going to continue to grow, and it's going to become even more of an educational requirement for your customers to understand not only how they run, quote unquote, their business at these institutions, but also how do we enable the students so that they're ready, because the companies that are using data analytics, and these are Alteryx customers and Alteryx partners and many others, they want to see that talent pipeline. They want to be able to grow that talent pipeline to hire those really ready to analyze individuals on day one. We will continue to increase our scholarship opportunities because as the demand grows, the demand for this talent is going to continue to grow. So we have to grow our scholarship opportunities. We also see this as a global initiative, and we have a very, very strong presence both across the EMEA region as well as the APAC regions. And so we're seeing growth in those regions of the world as well, hence the 45 countries that are already taking advantage of Sparked. And the last growth area that we see, which has really been impacted since really the last couple of years, is the broader focus on the upskilling and reskilling of the existing market. So if someone is in that job today and they say, you know, I don't really love my job, but I see these other people talking about their use of data. Let's take advantage of part of the Sparked program is what we call career changers. Those are the individuals that are saying, I want to develop my data analytics skills. How can I do that? We have a career changer option within the Sparked program, which allows them to keep working in their day job. They may be in retail, they may be in a career that they're not that excited about. And why not learn it in their off hours? And so that's what our career changers category allows for in Sparked. So any of our listeners that are thinking about how do I develop those skills, check out career changers.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, one of the things that HAI is only 3 years old, but when we sort of founded the company, one of the things that we wanted to do was give our higher ed institution partners greater transparency, greater ownership over their data. Excuse me, because we were really hearing a need and a desire for just being more in control. So for a long time, the kind of analytics that we did, there are big vendors out there that will do it. It's kind of in a black box. They do their thing and then they deliver recommendations to the client. And we see a growing demand for people wanting to understand much more about what's going on the analytics side, and perhaps even transition to doing all of their analytics in-house. So that's one of the services we offer, and Alteryx is an integral part of that, is kind of training institutions to be able to take over the analytics that we're doing. So your vision is, we really relate to that, and it was kind of a founding principle for us.
Well, and I'll say, Emily, what you just described for the educational institutions that you're working with specifically from HAI, we see the exact same conversation happening in the commercial sector. So whether you're a manufacturer or a financial services organization, I mean, the list goes on. Everyone needs to have that, what we refer to as a clear box, not a black box.
Right.
A clear box so they can see everything that's going on in those analytic processes, because that's where they're really able to harness the power of the data and also harness the power of the business side of the questions, because the business people, the users, those people that are developing those analytics for the educational institution or the manufacturer or the financial services company, they have the context of the business problem, as well as all of the factors that are influencing that business now. And that's where the power of that clear box analytics concept really comes to life. About empowering the people to use the data.
That's perfect. I love that. I love clear box. That's a great description.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that the program is only 13 months old. So I'm guessing that the answer to this question is no. But have you been able to sort of measure the impact that it's having on students in any way, or is it just kind of too young for that?
I love the question, and the short answer is yes, we are very young in measuring the impact, but that is a big part of what we are looking at. And quite honestly, it's funny that you asked that, Emily, because from an impact perspective, the way we view it at Alteryx is very similar to the way that our educators view it. And that is, they're very clear. My students need to be able to land a job. At the end of the day, that's why they do what they do from an education perspective. And that's also what Sparked is about, is supporting that education knowledge so that those students are employable on day one of graduation. And so we will continue to find ways to measure that impact. And there'll probably be other impact statements that we're going to have. So I'd love to have this conversation with you again, 6 months or a year from now, to talk about that impact.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm sure the kind of job readiness, I've been in higher ed for 20 years and have seen over that time how the importance of job readiness and employability has kind of moved to the top of the list of things that are important to students and families when they're choosing a college. College is no longer just sort of, I don't know, something that you go for kind of social growth. You've got to gain some skills that will make you employable as well. So we've definitely seen an increase in that.
Yeah. The other thing I'll add on really quickly, the other way that we're measuring impact, we did some research using LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, there's almost 250,000 jobs that are seeking data analytics skills, and another 13,000 that are specifically looking for people with Alteryx capabilities. And so that's the other numbers that we want to keep track of. We're expecting that number of 250,000 jobs looking for data skills is going to continue to go up as more companies, more employers are looking for these skills in their own workforce. And so let's continue this conversation and see how those metrics grow and change over time.
Definitely. So if a school wanted to kind of get started or join the Sparked program, what would they do to get started?
Hopefully it's very easy for them. What we'd ask them to do would be to take a look at the alteryx.com/sparked website. And on this, we are providing all of the resources, whether you're an educator, an administrator, a department chair, or a student, and allow them to jump in, register, download the Alteryx software license, and then they're given free access to the Alteryx community, which provides learning paths. And for educators, we actually have a private discussion area that they can talk with other educators and say, hey, how are you doing it? Educators are sharing curriculum, they're sharing how-to questions, problems, and supporting each other. And so we welcome the opportunity for educators and different schools to take on the program.
Yeah, incredible. Well, this has, been so informative, and I'm so appreciative of you taking the time to kind of tell us about this program. It sounds amazing, and we look forward to kind of watching it continue to grow. So unless there's anything else that you want to tell us about Spark that I forgot to ask about, I was just going to close by kind of asking what's on the horizon for Alteryx. I know Alteryx has been around for a long time, but you continue to evolve and grow, and just wondering what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I said a few minutes ago, Emily, data is everywhere. And so we want to make sure that we're continuing to support the demand in the marketplace. We recently conducted a survey that found that while 78% of business leaders agree that data and analytics enable them to make better business decisions and faster business decisions, 62% said they are not making full use of the data that they have. And 48% of the C-suite leaders feel that they're falling behind their own competition as they're trying to figure out what their data strategies are going to be. And so while we mark this 1-year anniversary with Sparked, we feel like we are literally just getting started. And to keep pace with the market demand for analytic skills, we've actually brought in a new senior vice president and global leader for the Sparked program, Nathalie Mainland, that's joining us from Salesforce.com, where she has led a global program. So we see the demand as really endless. And so between Nathalie and myself and other leaders on the team, we're going to continue to scale the program to be able to provide even more academic faculty and students with really a free, renewable, modern approach to data analytics, provide the teaching materials, provide the learning paths, the scholarships, the certification preparation, as well as internships, because that's the big part, the big win for students is when they can see that vision for themselves and get that real world experience during internships. And by providing them with job boards where they can go and see what companies are hiring for these skills, as well as where they can post their resumes so that they're right in front of those companies, Alteryx customers, Alteryx partners, and others that are looking for these amazing skills. So I appreciate the question. I love the conversation, and our growth is endless at this point as we see it, with data really driving business going forward. Amazing.
Nathalie.
And Emily, hi. I didn't get to say hello. I was having tech problems earlier. But I also love the last question too, because just to add one more thing to what Libby was saying is, you know, Alteryx is moving to the cloud as well. And so we are very excited about sort of the overall roadmap that Alteryx has and how we can leverage those cloud solutions in education. Because I think that's another important piece in providing greater access, you know, supporting sort of those equity issues when it comes to technology and how students kind of meet them where they are. They may be using Macs, tablets, a variety of things. And so this is also a very exciting development for Alteryx, but also for our market too.
Great, good. Thank you, Nathalie, for chiming in. Sorry to exclude you there. Okay, well, thank you both so much. This has been great, and I really appreciate your time. And we look forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you, Emily, very much.
Thanks, Emily.